Okay, we're getting these heads measured up so I can cut these exhaust board on the front head. So this is the front panheads here. So right now I'm swapping out the head. This is the fourth one I think I've measured now. Keep me busy all afternoon doing this. Head washer in there. There it goes. So this is our January 60 head. I did a 61 and a couple 64 heads, or 64 and 5 head, something, side roller heads. See, this head here is a 59 head. It's all cracked. So we'll see how close this one comes up. This is my last good head. I got one other one I can check after this. I'm using heads that have all good exhaust spigots on them to get all my reference numbers from. After I get all the numbers figured out, then I'll average out all the errors and figure out what number we're going to wind up using. Let's see. Okay, the way this works here is I put a shim underneath this one bolt here. It's supposed to go down the hole, not down there. First time I've done that today. Alright. Okay, so that goes against the stud right there. Then I rotate the head all the way up on the other side of the slot. And that gives my rotation. Feel the head pulling it tight in this one. This head's definitely got a warpage in it. See how much it pulled against the table, or against the plate here. Yeah, not too bad. A little better than I thought it would be. Pulled in pretty good. Okay, we put a setting ring right here, and this is where I get my angle from. So this sets the tilt this way, and the other direction will tilt the other way. So this one's coming in pretty good at my number here. Oop, turn that around. So you can see how that's at 0.09, which is pretty close. Oop, try to break it. Turn our ring 180. Back in the center and see what we get this time. Time we're coming at 0.13 degrees out, 0.013, tenth of a degree. Turn the ring again, 9/10, or 9/100 actually. Okay, so this is almost a tenth of a degree out. It could go up slightly more maybe. Okay, we rotate the other way and see what number we got this way. 0.31. 0.29. So once more rotation here in the head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and loosen this up and change the shim in here, and that'll rotate the head up and square up that angle. This head's either seem to have a real thick shim in here or a real thin one. This one here is not a very thick one. This one's 32 thousandths. We'll put two of these together and come up with 50. Just give me a starting point. Probably won't be enough. Alright, let me grab the phone and get back to this. Okay, we're back at this. Phone for a little bit there. Okay, I played around my washer a little bit. Pretty much gone back to where I started, I think. Pretty close. So 0.03 on that side, and we're about 1/10.5 under on this side. So 0.14. So that's the number we're coming up with. So I'll write those numbers down. And what head am I on here? 359. So we're at 36.1 degrees and we're 1/10 off, so it's 32.5 degrees. Alright. Now I want to get the height between here and my spigot, so I know a reference point to cut to. Basically just run a straight edge over to there, and then I run my precision blocks here until I find one that fits. So about 15 off. Pretty close. Around 180. Slightly looser. Let's see, that's a 120. 5 thou thicker. Yeah, that's got tension on it now. And we got tension again. Between 120 and 125. Alright, it's hitting right there. So we'll call that 120. So 120, 850 is 970. So that's the distance between the top of here and here. Alright, take out the difference of how thick this is. It should leave us 150 thou down to the edge of this block here. This lip. So it comes right across. So our numbers are holding up. So it comes time to cut the head, depth of this spigot on a new head, one I'm working on. Yep. I'll come off this surface here, and I'd cut down 150 thou to be at the height of this is. So I know what my relationship is from here to here. So the next thing I do, I gotta get my center location figured out. So we're gonna go ahead and do some other measurements for that purpose. So right now we got our angles figured out and the height. So now I just gotta figure out the XY dimension. First thing you do is you get the spigot measured here on the base. Okay. Bottom. 1, 5, you split the difference. Close enough. About 3 or 4 on that side. About 5, so make it 4. Alright, close enough. We'll zero out on our meter gauge up here on top. You can't see that. I'll put my pointer in here, which is basically just a center drill. Pull this back so you can see better. And this will tell me my XY dimension. Alright, let's go see what's going on up front here. Okay. Another interruption. Just so we can see what I'm doing here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get our XY dimension right now. So basically, I just take my center drill and I push it right on top of my scale here. And that'll give me an idea where my center point is. If you're on center, this will be level. So it looks pretty level that way. Turn it 180. You always got to double check all your dimensions. And we're pretty level again. So my normal dimensions coming in, which is 2.560. Seems to be a pretty consistent number. The other one should be 2.350 or so. So my reference point this way is going to be off of this bolt hole right down here. So I take a screw, put it in the hole here, and then I go ahead and use that as a reference point. Kind of eyeball it. And I take my scale again, put it across the bolt here. And same trick where you come out at a certain angle is what you're doing on this one. It's hard to see it from where you're at over there, but kind of get an idea where I'm at. That's quite straight, pretty straight. Okay, we're pretty even. And we came out at, was it 340, a little bit less than normal. Alright, so that gives me all my dimensions that I need, figuring all this stuff out. So let me get all these numbers worked out, we'll come back and show you what we got. Okay, these are all the numbers I came up with for all the different heads. So I took all my numbers and kind of averaged them all out. So I'm going to use those as my baseline for this first head here and see what it kind of looks like when I'm done. And then we'll see how it cuts. So that's what we did today. So it took a whole day to get that together. Nice, easy job.